Today back with a new video, and I really wanted to react to this because um, this is what I think is very wrong with how normies approach, let's just say, advice. So let's just get into it.
What I have discovered, though, is that both men and women want someone who will be with them.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Thank you.
In the partnership, shoulder to shoulder, and someone who has agency. They're not necessarily looking for exactly the same things in each other, but they are looking for someone who's with them, someone who will work together in a genuine partnership. So, for example, there's a question that asks young women what they're looking for in a potential marriage.
Um, you got to be very careful with these studies because there's surveys, and once again, there's a lot of cap going around there. A lot of people will have the feeling that they're being watched. So they're of course they're going to answer differently. But if they would be very honest, I would say it's probably looks, it's probably stability in the financial department and so on. Yeah, very simple, straightforward.
And breadwinning potential,
Yeah, you see, I'm right.
always pretty high on the list, top 3 in the list. Not so much the other way around.
This makes total sense because once again, men are very simple when it comes to dating. It's mainly the looks and sometimes the personality. Let us all be honest there.
Having spoken to a lot of young women about this, I've become convinced that that's just a proxy question for this guy has his act together.
So what does this mean? This means that the guy has a job, he has some stability offer. That's pretty much it.
The labour market is a really good signal. Right? If you can do well in the workforce, that probably means you've got a whole set of skills and habits.
Oh, brother, it's not about the skills and the habits and the disciplines. It's the results. And once again, this might be very shitty to say because we always hear, "Oh, it's about the progress and the progress and so on." But most people will mostly see the results, and this is also for dating.
And disciplines that will also make you a good father. And so I think that's
No, not really. It's about the stability that you can offer.
what's going on here, and what women are looking for, by and large, isn't what a trad husband, so they can be a trad wife to that trad husband. Of course, that's true for some. But what they are looking for is
Yeah, I mean, it's the trad thing coming back. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's very limited. But indeed, a lot of girls are not looking for that. He's right about that.
someone who has agency, who has skill, and who has commitment. And he may well end up applying that as a stay-at-home dad for a while.
No, most likely not. The whole stay at home dad, I get that for connection with your child and so on, but that's the only reason. Most women aren't necessarily gonna find that attractive.
Or in the community in some way, rather than in the narrow economic role of breadwinner. But they
Okay, why is that narrow economic role there? It's because of most of humanity, the men somewhat provided more of the resources. It's of course not like the trad wife and trad guy thing. A lot of these guys have that wrong. But what we see is that, yes, the men did the majority of the resources gathering and so on.
want guys who've got some mojo. They do want guys who've got some skills.
No, they want a guy that can provide stability on the financial department and so on. That's it.
They do want guys who've got their act together. Men want that from women too.
Kinda, men are willing to date down significantly.
But many young men, I think, are struggling to find the ways to develop all of those skills.
No, it's mainly about the fact that social media has cooked the brains of everybody. It's not only the women, guys, it's the men too. A lot of guys just don't meet the standards anymore of looks and also the financial stuff.
Agency. And feel somewhat thrown around by the current cultural environment. And
Yes, because we live in a gynocentric society. Not that women have the most power, but they have the most social currency at this moment. Much bigger social lives than most guys, way more friends, and so on. Women have the most social power right now.
I think if you can't have empathy for a young man who feels like he genuinely is being told contradictory things all the time,
Yeah, and you're contributing to that. Not to shit on this guy, but he could just have said, okay, money is a thing, providing financial stability or stability in general to your wife is going to be helpful instead of this whole like academic LARP.
about how he's supposed to be in the world. Too masculine, not masculine enough, etc.
The whole masculine thing doesn't matter that much, I think.
Then I think you lack some sort of basic empathetic impulse, because
So yeah, this is pretty much it,
I do think
guys.
that's a difficult set of rapids that young men are now navigating.
Okay, there's a bunch of LARP right now. So the main message that I would give to guys right now is focus on your looks and the financial parts, mostly to provide a stable income to give her that at least middle class life. Once again, that's very rare right now. That's what I would recommend most guys do. So yeah, peace.